Hi children, welcome to Gita School Tupran online classes. Previous video we learned about Vietnam, but children that part removed from the textbook. So you don't want to study the Vietnam. After the China, we are coming to the Nigeria. In this chapter, what we are studying? How these countries or how these colonies got freedom. So next country here, we are learning that Nigeria. Where is the location of Nigeria? See the map. It is located in African continent. You can see the Niger River. The bank of the Niger River, our Nigeria located. That's the location. Before that, you know that once upon a time, Africa was known as dark continent. Why it was called as dark continent? Because no one can reach into the interior part of the Africa. Do you know? The northern part of Africa covered with the hottest desert, Sahara. Other parts completely covered with a very thick and dangerous forest. So no one can enter into the Africa. So they were called as a dark continent. But you know that 16th century, Westerners came to Africa, especially Nigeria. And they went into the deep forest, cut the people from the forest, and taken to the Western market. You know that same like animals, in Western market, human beings are available to buy or sell. People are selling them and the landlords buy the human beings, male or female, and take it their field to do hard work. They want to do hard work, restless work. They were unable to get sufficient food, no shelter for them. Like that, like animals, they treated these human beings. This was called slavery system. So 16th century, Western countries made a trade with Nigeria or other African countries for slavery. But you know that 19th century slavery system was abolished. And also we studied Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King were fought against slavery system. So 19th century it was stopped. After that, they find out another way for their trade. You know, 19th century what was happened? Industrialization. Due to industrialization, they need other countries. They need distant places to get raw materials and sell their product. Okay, once again come back to here, Nigeria. In Nigeria, you can see three parts. Northern part, Hausa Fulani people were lived. Northern part of Nigeria, Hausa Fulani people were lived. Southern part, two ethnic group here you can see. Eastern side you can see Igbo tribes and western side you can see Yoruba people. Actually, this division was done by British. As the part of divide and rule policy, they divided the southern parts again into two. In that, eastern side Igbo tribes, western side Yoruba people. Understood all of you? So here what was happened? This region actually not unified before the British. After the entering of the British, they unified these three regions which was located on the bank of the river Niger. This area was very fertile, you know that, because of the Niger river. So it was very suited for cultivation. Their main cultivation, palm tree as well as cocoa. You know, palm tree, palm oil, one of the main products. Cocoa, you know that. With that we can make a different kind of chocolate or ice creams. So here what was happened after the 19th century, British reached coastal areas of Nigeria. I already told you, Nigeria's coastal areas first occupied by British. In that, one main seaport you can see Lagos. So Lagos became very famous. British tried to develop the Lagos because it is connecting many parts of the world with the sea route. So Lagos actually during the period 1861, Lagos occupied by British. Okay, no. So the Lagos became very famous and became the center of administration, trade and education. You know, administration center, Telangana administration center in where? Hyderabad. All the administrative offices were located in Hyderabad. Say like in Lagos, all the administrative offices were located. And there the British established schools and colleges, and trade also highly developed. So Lagos became the center of administration, trade, education. Okay, no. And one more thing, here only the struggle against colonialism started. The revolt against British also started here only. And you know that in Lagos, Pan-Africanism and Nigerian nationalism, these ideas also were developed, especially southern part of Nigeria. You know, Pan-Africanism, Africa for Africans. Okay, suppose Telangana, we can make Pan-Telanganaism, means in Telangana people only want to live. Others want to go away from Telangana. That idea. Understood all of you? So once again, British began to follow racism. Racism means what? Apartheid. Apartheid means what? The discrimination on the basis of color. This also irritates the people of Nigeria. Then the educated Africans were excluded from the civil service, and they did not encourage the entrepreneurs from Africa or Nigeria. These problems also faced by the Nigerian people. First of all, Nigerian people who are educated, they did not allow to civil service exams, and they began to follow apartheid. The Nigerian entrepreneurs did not get any encouragement from the British government. So here what was happened? The Nigeria under the British rule controlled by the ethnical chieftains and few elite. Ethnical chieftains means the leader of the ethnic people. Elite means rich people. So the administrative system controlled by these people. Even though the modernization come to Nigeria along with the British, they followed their traditional system also. And one more thing, children, during this period of 1930s, the world countries began to face what that? Economic depression. That also affected in Nigeria. See, because of all these problems, Nigerian people gathered together and turned against British. This political movement actually first started in southern part of Nigeria because they were educated people, they got a nationalistic feeling. And you know that the first political party in Nigeria was established by Herbert Macaulay. Herbert Macaulay established the first political party. It was called NNDP. NNDP means Nigerian National Democratic Party. National Democratic Party, that means Nigerian National Democratic Party, NNDP, was the first political party established by Herbert Macaulay in 1923. See, 1923, 1928, 1933, hence NNDP got the high majority. See, soon after, in 1936, there was another political party, Nigerian Youth Movement, NYM, Nigerian Youth Movement, was won by Namdi Azikiwe. Namdi Azikiwe. See, one more political party was established in 1936, was known as Nigerian Youth Movement by who? Namdi Azikiwe. But in 1944, Herbert Macaulay and Namdi Azikiwe made a negotiations and merged their two parties into one. Understood? Namdi Azikiwe party, what was that? Nigerian Youth Movement. And Herbert Macaulay party, NNDP, Nigerian National Democratic Party, both merged into one. And they formed a new party. It was called NCNC. NCNC means National Council of Nigerian and the Cameroons. Okay, so now both leaders joined together and fought against Nigeria. It was happened. Now the movement became very stronger against British. But here they have to fight for two problems. One side one side British, and the side among the ethnic people fought each other. So unifying the ethnic group also one of the main risk for these national parties. So you can see anyway, northern people made their separate party. It was called NPC, Northern People's Congress. In south side, in a west side, they made AG party, Action Group. West side AG party, and east side NCNC, already said it to you, National Council of Nigeria, and the Cameroons. So the three parties in three sectors began to fight against British. So whatever it is, that they joined together and moved against the British. British also became very weak because of the Second World War, and also during this time Britain was forced to give independence to their colonies. This was happened. Anyway, British decided to hand over their power to the Nigerians. Anyway, Nigeria got independent on 1st October 1963. After joining three major regions of Nigeria, Nigeria became independent on 1st October 1963. Here was one problem. While British hand over freedom to the Nigeria, three regions, north, east, west, southern part, east and west. These regions got autonomous in power. They did not get complete unification of the Nigeria. And dear children, this time that 1950s in Niger Delta they discovered oil. After the discovery of oil in Nigerian Delta, conditions become very worse. Again, Western powers entered the Nigeria, especially Dutch Shell Company. Dutch Shell Company got the right for oil drilling. Drilling, taking out of the oil. What oil? Crude oil from the earth. That right goes to the Dutch Shell Company. Understood? So here what was happened? Actually this was the resource of Nigeria, owned by Nigerians, but that ownership goes to Westerners. Again their fight was continued against Western power. The Nigerian people faced one more thing, what that? Ecological problem. The wastage from the oil refineries flows to ocean and other ponds. Water pollution was happened. Even drinking water also polluted. Wherever they are digging for water, they saw the shield of oil. And another problem was that there you can see mangrove trees. Mangrove trees are growing in salty water. This was the source of petroleum. After the death of these trees, their fossils give oil. Around 5 or 10% of Nigerian mangrove ecosystem have been destroyed by the foreign companies. Why? They want to clear the area for the purpose of extracting the oil. Like that, our mangrove trees began to vanish. And also, these Dutch companies polluted the rulers. The foreign companies were influenced the leaders by giving money. So here what was happening? The Nigerian people once again suffering because of the pollution, destruction of mangrove trees, and they want to do the work in the oil field like slaves. So they again fought against the government. Anyway, in 1990s it became very popular. In 1990s there was a growing unrest. That means the movement became very strong. Especially Ken Saro Viva. You know Ken Saro Viva? He was a human right as well as environmentalist. Human right means person who are fighting for human right. They are called human right activist. Environmentalist means who are trying to protect our environment. They were called environmentalist. So Ken Saro Viva was a human right activist and environmentalist. He was assassinated by the military government. So don't forget, the military government assassinated Ken Saro Viva. After the death of Ken Saro Viva, the strike, the movement became very strong. Still now, they are making their struggle, they are continuing their struggle for to get a unified Nigeria as well as the ownership on their own natural resource, oil fields. Okay, children, here our 13th lesson is completing. Today, only I will send one question paper regarding 13th lesson. I am conducting on slip test. CD children no need to write, but AB children want to write and send it to me because CD already sent the question paper. They given answer also. AB children now see the question paper and write your answers and send it back to me. This mark should be recorded. So don't forget, all of you want to write the exam. Okay children, thank you. Next video we will go for another chapter. Okay.